So continuing the discussion about service counter selling and how selling is really imparting knowledge to customers, there's a very, very important tool that I want to discuss with you right now, and that is the multi-point inspection form. Now, when I raise the multi-point inspection form in a lot of my seminars, if it's technicians in a seminar, they really recoil at the thought of it. Service writers tend to be split. Some really strongly dislike multi-point inspection forms, or what I call MPIs, and others see them as an awesome tool. I would encourage you to think of multi-point inspection forms as a relationship building tool. It does a number of things for you as a relationship building tool. And if it's going to be successful, or it's going to be used successfully, there's certain key features that you need to emphasize, and there's certain rules, if you will, to using one. Now, the first thing is always present it to the customer. Whether you have a 52-point inspection, a 20-point inspection, a 48-point inspection, doesn't matter to me. Whatever your MPI form is, it is, but always present it to the customer. Because the last thing you want, or the thing you really want to avoid, is bringing a vehicle in for, say, an oil change, and having the customer walk around on a nice day out in the lot, look in and see that somebody's got the front wheels off their vehicle. Because maybe your policy is to remove the front wheels to inspect the brakes as part of your MPI. And the customer then says, "What are you doing? I'm paying for an oil change, you get the wheels off my car." If you present the MPI first, up front, with an explanation as to what it is, why you do it, and that there's no obligation, oftentimes they'll say yes. If they say no thank you, that's okay also. Just make a note either on the repair order or in the system so that you know that the customer declined having their vehicle inspected. So that's the first key to using an MPI successfully. The next key to using an MPI successfully is to explain to the technicians why you use the multi-point inspection form. Technicians often see it as just another piece of paper that gets in the way of their doing their job on a daily or a minute-by-minute basis. They don't always think big picture. They don't understand that you're building a relationship with your customer. Have the conversation with them that it's a very important selling tool for you. Now, to emphasize the importance of the MPI, you have got to give the technician some feedback. Because here's what I see happen. You present it to the customer says, okay, let's do it. It goes back to the shop with the technician. Technician is diligent about filling it out. They do a fantastic job. They give you all the information you need. Maybe they even give you times and prices on it. Perfect. It comes back up to the desk. They go back to their bay, all right, to finish whatever work they're doing. You present it to Mr. or Mrs. Customer, and the customer says, "Ooh, I can't do that today. I can't afford that. I don't have time," whatever it is. And the next thing you should do when you get that objection is, well, would you like to make an appointment to have it done in the future? Next week, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, whatever it is. Customer says, yeah, let's do that. So you make the appointment. You get it in your system. You get it on your schedule pad. You go back out there and you say to the technician, throw the wheels back on it. Customer's got to go. What's the technician thinking? Technician's thinking, I just presented this multi-point inspection form to my service writer. It needed $1,200 worth of work, and he's telling me, put the wheels on and get it out of here. He or she's useless. They couldn't sell anything. Why do I even bother doing this? Customer's not buying. Customers never buy. Well, the technician doesn't know you just had an appointment made. There's an appointment on the schedule pad now. If you took the 10, 15, 30 seconds it would take to walk through that door right there to the shop and say to the technician, hey, thanks for doing an awesome job. I sold the work. They couldn't do it today, but they made an appointment in 3 weeks to get it done. I'll make sure you get the work. What's the technician know now? Technician knows now that their effort was not wasted, that their effort's going to be rewarded. It's not today, it's a few weeks down the line. Now, the other argument you get from technicians is, I don't get paid to do that. Well, they do. And if they understand that you sold that work and the customer's coming back and that you're going to make sure they get that work, they can also understand they did get paid to do that because they just sold, whatever it was, 3, 4, 8 hours worth of work on that MPI that's going to come back to them in 3 weeks. And by having the conversation, by providing the feedback to the technician and closing that loop, you will encourage technicians to do a better job on multi-point inspection forms. So think about that. You're going to present the inspection form to the customer. You're going to give the technician feedback on the customer's decision. And then you're going to use this MPI to help build the relationship further with the customer. What if that customer that was presented with a $1,200 MPI, so the estimate was $1,200, the work that they needed, and they look at you and they go, ooh, wow, can't afford to do that. Well, you know what the problem is with the expense of owning an automobile? The problem is that the customer came to us today for a $35 oil change, and we presented a $1,200 estimate to them. The money wasn't the problem. They might understand they needed the work. The problem was they don't have the money today. It wasn't in the budget. It was unexpected. Remember, what the customer expects or doesn't expect is just as important as what they do expect. They didn't expect $1,200. They expected a $35 bill. So how do you help the customer with that? Well, instead of saying, wow, you need $1,200 worth of work, technician found a lot of stuff wrong with your car, you should get this done as soon as possible. And have the customer go, no, I'm here for an oil change, I think that's all I'll do today. Impart knowledge. Explain what the technician found. Prioritize it for the customer. What are the safety-related things? The really important things that they need to have done now or tomorrow or the next day. And then what things can we put off a little bit? Or what things can we spread out over a longer period of time? You're doing a number of things by doing this. First of all, you're showing the customer you care. You're helping the customer make a decision. They don't know what you know. They don't have the knowledge they need to make that decision as to what's priority and what's not. So you help them. That assistance does not go unnoticed. The next thing you do is you're helping them budget. Because now that they know the priority and you pre-schedule an appointment for them, they know exactly when they need how much money for. Now when they walk through that door, yeah, they're going to knock off that $400 piece today, or that $600 piece today, or that $100 piece tomorrow. They can budget for those repairs. You've helped them make that decision. You've helped them budget for those repairs. You've pre-scheduled for them. Now, what does pre-scheduling and prioritizing do for you? Keeps them coming back. It ensures, especially the pre-scheduling part, it ensures they're coming back to you, to your shop. Instead of, I can't do it today. Okay, here's your bill, your invoice for the work we did today, $35 for the oil change. Letting them go. Let us know when you want to make an appointment. Now you let them out the door with no pre-scheduled appointment. They could be driving down the road 2 weeks from now. They've got an extra $100,000, $200,000 in their pocket, and they see a shop that's open, and they go, oh, you know what? I needed tires soon. Hey, that guy looks open. I'm going to go over there. If you had pre-scheduled their appointment for 3, 4, however much time ahead, they'd be driving down the road and they go, shops, oh, no, you know what? I have an appointment at that other shop next week. You are far more likely to get them to return to you. And the more often they return to you, the better relationship you're going to build with them. And the better relationship you build with them, the closer you get to trust, the increase in sales that you'll see will be fantastic. The number of touches you have with a customer over a period of time is very, very important. Normally customers you'll see them what, 3, 4 times a year maybe? But if you prioritize on a multi-point inspection form and you get 4 visits out of that on top of those 3 or 4 a year, now all of a sudden you've got that customer coming to your store at least every other month, if not every month. And you have a better chance of building that relationship, growing your revenue, growing your customer labor sales, and growing your profits. So I strongly encourage you to consider using a multi-point inspection form. Remember, present it to the customer, give the technician feedback, and prioritize for the customer. Those are the 3 keys to selling with a multi-point inspection form. Coming up next, we'll talk about one more tool.